Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Check one, check two.
Yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo. Mine's always on silent. No vibration. No, none of that. Alright, let me know when everyone's ready. Hey guys, welcome to the Short Back and Sides podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing what is 50-50. It's been very topical recently, so we just thought, let's discuss it. So we have our host.
You know
Do you know? We'll have our speaker.
You know me, Millionaire Mike.
Man like Mr. Blake, and we got a special guest today in light of International Women's Day. Let her introduce herself.
Hey, my name is Martina. Good to see you all.
Lastly,
Pleasure P.
love saying that.
You're gonna keep it.
And Trife. So we're going to be discussing what is 50-50. So guys, where do we start then? So everyone's discussing what is right with 50-50 with when it comes to relationships. When there's like they're married or if they're just kind of living together. Is it right? Is it right? What is right and what is wrong, basically? So start with you, the doc. What is your opinion on that? What do you think about 50-50? What does it mean for you?
What does it mean for me?
Yeah.
So it's a minefield of a topic.
Yeah.
Because society today is like a mishmash of so many different nuances. I think even if you describe relationships,
Yeah.
you go through all in those forms, and it says, what's your relationship status? I get confused.
Yeah, no, definitely.
How
Yeah.
many different things you can be. So it's going to be hard to fit a one-size-fits-all onto 50-50. I'm just going to speak generally speaking. If I'm talking about principles,
Yeah.
I personally would struggle to be in a relationship
Yeah.
and
Not
go
contributing.
Dutch and go 50-50. I can't.
Relationship being you're not married or you're married kind of thing. So both, or is it both? Or does it matter to you?
See, that's where it gets interesting because other factors come into play. For
Yeah.
example, so at our big age, often if you meet with somebody, they
Yeah.
might have kids.
Kids, yeah.
So what if we're all living under the same roof? Am I paying for everything and
Yeah.
paying for next man's kids?
Yeah.
It's a question to think about.
Yeah. No,
You know,
no.
questions to
Very.
think about. So
very good point.
It gets a bit mad. If I'm just taking like a blank canvas and saying, what am I doing? I think if I'm meeting a girl, for example, you start from a dating perspective.
Yeah.
If I'm meeting a girl and I'm writing her out, I can't say when the bill comes,
Yeah. No.
I go 50, you go 50.
Mm-hmm.
I think you kind of...
Yeah, you can.
You can.
You can.
Yeah, you can. But that's not what you're about.
That's not the intention. But
Yeah.
I think as we'll go in the talk, we'll see there's various nuances that will probably make me say, nah, 50-50.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Millionaire Mike.
Yeah, do you know what? It's an interesting conversation to have because it depends on a number of factors, as Doc said. Now, if I go back to the beginning of courtship and dating a girl, yeah?
Yeah.
If I'm asking a girl out, would you like to come out with me and chill, whatever? I'll fully expect to cover the whole night.
Yeah.
Fully expect it. I may even fully expect to cover most of the expenditures for probably the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As in going out, as in
like
the courting
when
stage,
I'm
yeah.
taking her place,
Okay.
and stuff like that, and
Can I ask you a quick
And
question?
that
yeah,
Yeah, go on.
In the courting, does it make a difference if we're talking about whether this is courting thought saying we're going to get married or a relationship, or whether you're just trying to chop?
Get to the point.
It's a very good. It's a very good question. In both instances, give you an example. Okay, so if I'm chopping, I'm normally covering the hotel bill because I'm looking to make full use of that investment.
Not going back to my yard.
Yeah. So if I know it's on, then I'll cover the hotel. Just come and link me, and and things happen. If I'm dating a girl, and with intent that look, this girl's really nice, I really like her, I have no problem. It literally, I've got no issue pursuing her and paying for everything. Now, when it gets a bit interesting, though, is after we've kind of established that there's something happening, and something going on, then it's somewhat kind of, there's a bit of a transition period where when she starts to say, oh, I booked us a couple of tickets to go and see my man and she's paying for it, I'm like, all right, okay, she's dipping in her pocket now. And then suddenly, I kind of start to adjust my expectations and I hope that she does too, in terms of, okay, look, now you can start paying for stuff because we're now in the relationship. Now, the percentage though is really interesting because if I go too hard, if I go hard in the paint and I'm always buying, she's gonna be thinking like, my man's got everything patterned. I don't need to do nothing. Yeah. So it gets to a point where, I've been in instances where I'm like, look, babes, are we going out? How are we doing this? Are we going halves? Okay. Or I'm like, oh, don't worry, I'll take you out. And then, okay, I'll take you out the next time. And that's how it's progressed with me, really. I've never really had to discuss it, per se.
Let me chuck a scenario at you, both of you, because you both kind of answered my question, first one. Okay, so say things have gone really well, you really get on with each other, you met each other's parents, and then, so you both are living, let's say you're both living with brethren, and then you both decide, do you know what? We're booking hotels every minute. Let's just get a flat together. How does the 50-50 evolve then? What happens then? So say you both find a nice little flat in Dulwich, and it's...
My chest is big. Your chest is... No, let's just say... Let's just say you both... Let's say you earn... So let's just say you earn... about, let's say 20% more than her, let's just say that for argument's sake. You move into this flat, what is the bill splittage? How does that work? How does that fathom in your mind? Do you go 50-50 now, or do you still, is Millionaire Mike still being a millionaire and paying for everything, patterning everything, bills?
So, this is a very good question, I think it comes down to a lot of factors that I would have assessed during the dating phase.
Okay.
In regards to her. So if we're talking like this is just a girl, she's meeting my criteria, so she's got like lots of bodies, nothing in the closet, and,
no batteries.
Yeah, no batteries and all like that. Then I've got to say, like, I feel like there would be, and especially if I'm making more, I wouldn't shy away from the expectation that I'm going to pay for more.
So is that more in rent, or just in terms of, okay, you go to 50-50 on the rent and then you pay for like majority of the shopping and stuff like that, or bills like that?
You know what it is? I think I noticed, so there's some things about me is that I'm really not a selfish person.
Yeah.
So I will have the intent to pay.
Yeah.
What I will clock onto is, wait a minute, when I pull out my card, is there ever a time
where she says like, stop?
No.
Yeah.
If I notice, I'm like, ding. Like, yo,
Mario.
Then to me that's a red flag, and then that's when I'd probably say, look, we need to have a chat, innit?
Yeah.
But I find naturally I haven't had to have conversations like that
because you kind of do the
I would do that usually, and then I think there's an understanding that I can see this is what he does, and it seems to, I always believe that the laws of averages even out.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing this and doing this, I feel like if you got to that stage, you're the kind of person who will say, yeah, I need to cover this and cover that. So it's hard to say. I don't feel like there's an exact science from my perspective.
I want to jump in because I think there's a point that we have to touch on, in the sense we're talking about 50-50. What does 50 plus 50 make?
100.
Right.
Yeah.
So isn't the thing we should be looking at is that we make the 100 any means possible
So 50-50, 60-40,
Yeah.
20-80, 70-30. There's going to be times when men have it, and I'm going to need you to sort of step in and say, you know what, boom, let deal with it, and vice versa.
I've got a really good example for that, but we'll let Millionaire Mike talk, and then we will come to you, and then we can do kind of things. But yeah,
Look, it's not my take on things is not too dissimilar to the way Doc is, because
Yeah.
we are, to some extent, quite aligned intellectually in terms of how we look at life and
Yeah.
stuff. So I do completely understand and feel what you're saying. It's primarily because I'm a man.
yeah.
And I enjoy being a man and the experience of living as a man.
Okay.
I'm not saying that.
That's what I'm saying. Where are we going?
You don't go like at a sex change or something. I'm not talking about that.
Pause.
What I'm saying is what the beauty about being a man and being a responsible man
Yeah.
is that you go out there, you get it, and then you basically and a man that is responsible, in my opinion, likes to share the proceeds of whatever he makes with his loved ones. So if
Yeah.
I see a woman that I really care about, I want to say, you look, babes, look, I went out there, I grinded, boom, let's go out and get something. However, when I do agree with you, Doc, when it gets a bit techie for me is when there's no reciprocity in any attempt of you trying to reciprocate what I'm doing. Even if, let's just say, you work in Starbucks or you have a menial job and you're not making any effort, just by virtue of me just having loads of money or working in an office or something, I'll be like, well, so this, you know, it doesn't really matter. But when you're not really making any effort, and you're not even attempting to do anything, like, I don't know, it's my birthday and nothing special's happening, you know, it's my mom's birthday, you're not even thinking of sending a flower, then I'll be like, I'll be hugely concerned about this. And I'll be like, look, so what happens when you change jobs? Are you always going to be that way? Is it because, as Kilo said, there's times where that 100 thing, I'm completely on board with that, because at the end of the day, there's been times, honestly speaking, where I've dated girls that had way more money than me, and I felt slightly inadequate, but I was still doing my thing. I was still trying my very best to say, look, I'm going to pattern this as much as I can.
Here's the thing: did they make you feel inadequate and emasculate you by doing certain things?
Do you know what? I've got a really good example. So back in the day when I was younger, I was going out with a girl that was a lot older than me. I'm not mentioning no names here. And then so obviously she used to make a lot more money than me. And then so obviously I used to send her the rent and stuff like that, half the rent and stuff like that. And then one time I think she got a bonus. And then she's like, I'll take £20 off, go get a haircut. She's how small it made me feel. Like,
That's pocket money.
that's what I'm saying, £20, you know, like take £20 off and make yourself feel nice, like I was like a bitch or something. It's like,
But I was going to say, why did you kind of go into that kind of arrangement or agreement with that?
because she wasn't like that to start with.
Okay, how did that change then?
I think obviously she got in, and obviously my money was helping her, and so she kind of got used to getting more money, because obviously she was kind of a bit struggling when we first moved in together and stuff like that. And so she got more money, and then she got a pay rise. It just got to her head, and it was just the person she was.
I hear that, but I think today what I've been hearing is like looking at the foundations, like what's being set up.
Yeah.
Because I was hearing what you were saying about 6 months. I was like, is that a marker in terms of what you cover for that 6 months? And then is it supposed to change? When does the reciprocation kick in? Do you understand? What are you setting up? Because I think, unfortunately, there's some people that I've seen, even the nicest people, but if you give them a mile, they're going to take a yard.
No, 100%.
So are you actually setting up the dynamic of we're doing the 100 in the best way possible or not?
Do you know what? To give myself some credit there, I was very young, and so you go through your simping stage where you weren't really thinking. You just like, this is, I wouldn't say love, but this feels good. You know, the beat was good. You know, everything was good in it. Everything just smelled fresh. So I went with it in it, and then obviously it wasn't what it was. You learn in it, and obviously if you're still doing that shit in your 30s and 40s, then you got a problem. But so I had to have a little.
But then I want to ask both you and Terry, like, did you not feel like there was red flags at the beginning where you're just like, and you let it slide?
Exactly. Red flags are not a carnival.
I thought back then. I thought, yeah. To be fair, do you know what it was? I'll be totally honest with you, because the female I was dating before, my parents didn't like her and my family, and so this one they loved her because she tried to she's buying my mum gifts and really being really nice to my sisters and stuff like that. So like, oh, we love this girl. So it kind of, I was on it, but I wasn't that on it. So it kind of just gave me the push over the cliff. If that makes sense.
Blaming the parents on this one, yeah?
Mum, yeah, I definitely do.
No,
you
I
know?
say that because a lot of the time
Yeah.
I remember growing up, your mum or your dad was saying, I'm not sure about your bridging, you know, because they're seeing something that
Yeah.
you're not seeing. And then years later, the bridging does a badness, and your mum has said, I told you about that one.
Yeah.
I told
Now,
you.
let me make this thing more international. So let me quickly answer your question. So, thankfully, luckily, I've never really been in a relationship with any women I've dated that have taken
Advantage.
of my finances. It's always been quite cordial and quite respectful. I have dated women that were working when I was, say, a student, and they had more money because they were full-time
Yeah.
employees, and they could do a lot more. But even with my little part-time job, I will also do whatever I could. But this 50-50 thing, go and date, let's go Jamaica and go on holiday and go and date a girl in Jamaica. You big English guy that comes over to you, you're going to go 50-50 on you?
No,
You ain't.
no.
You pay everything.
100%.
Go Ghana. Let's go to a shoot and dance to draw a couple of gal. They're going to expect you to pay for every single thing, every single day, for as long as you're with them.
Yeah, but they're more traditional there, though. They'll do everything for you in as such a little bit. Depends on which part of the yard you go to. But
Yeah, but and obviously no disrespect to the Jamaicans. I'm just.
Oh, I deal with yo.
No disrespect. I'm just talking in terms of like
Yeah.
what I've witnessed and what I've seen. Now, does this 50-50 principle, or is it only confined to the United Kingdom or to westernized countries? Or when we start to go abroad,
Yeah.
when the women expect you to pay and everything,
So passport
because you're
bros.
the big man from England and everything, she's going to expect you to pay for everything. Because trust me, I've seen it and I've experienced it.
Let me tell you something. When I go to Jamaica and they're like, they know you're from foreign, they think you're a walking, exactly. Think you're the walking cash machine. Listen, I'm there just trying to survive. And what I find with this whole 50-50 talk is a lot of it is based on fear. Yeah. And it goes back to what you're saying about the whole simping. No one doesn't want to feel like they're being taken advantage of. So if I'm paying constantly, it's refreshing when someone says, no, I got this, babes. You know what I mean? But I think because there's so much choice, we know, like, all right, well, if I'm always constantly paying and then you're not, and it's getting to me, I know I can just dash you away, find someone that is in line with my principles or my scruples or values.
yeah.
I've got a completely different spin on this. So I think the first thing is this 50-50 was obviously invented by someone who wanted to be divisive. Because actually, when you think about it, take a step back, there is no such thing as 50-50. Doesn't exist. Because in the course of a relationship, one of you said it will balance itself out. That's one thing. But when you think about entering into something, if you decide at one moment in time, do you know what, we're going to move out together. One of you is going to be earning more anyway. When have we ever been in a position where we're both earning the exact same? Yeah. So the 50-50 thing there, yes, it can balance out. But over the course of a relationship, let's say you have a kid. Yeah. Woman goes on maternity, disadvantage straight away. Mm-hmm. You can't. Yeah, you're gonna have to cover that anyway. Yeah. So for me, I've always looked at it like my longer term relationships that I've been in, never put that sort of thing on. This is expected or that's expected. And at the same time, don't expect nothing of me. Yeah. Because whatever we can build or whatever we can do, you should be able to sit there subjectively and say, right, what is the objective? What is it you're actually looking to get? So like, I've always had a thing of, right, what is it we're trying to do together? And if you can't answer that, then that's when you go.
Yeah, 100%.
I've got a question though.
Yes.
Because the 50-50 thing, we need to establish what we mean by that. Are we talking about financial or are we talking about household participation? Like, give you an example, right? Let's just say you're the breadwinner and you make a bag of pea. Should you, as part of being 50-50, should you start cleaning up the yard and doing the
Bro, do you know what? This is
In the dinner.
and
This
cooking the
is
dinner because you got an adult wife or an adult partner who works, you you make more money, you cover probably most of the bills because you can cover the bills. But then do you then need to do more? Because your 50-50 participation would just be the financial thing. I'm patterning the whole house.
So
here's my money. You pay all the bills.
I hear a lot of things like that. I've been married 10 years this week. Yeah, 10 years. So she might not feel the same. But no, but when you think about it, yeah, again, that is setting an expectation. So like for me, it's like, do you know what? You've had we both work full time. We've got 2 kids in childcare between whatever hours. We both travel for work. We both stay away for work. So in our heads, we have this 50-50 thing, but there's default things. At the end of the day, like one of the biggest gripes I have is I cook. I like to cook, as you can see. And I'll be in the kitchen doing whatever, and I'll try and take the youngest one, you know? I'll try and be like, yeah, let's spend some time. But he wants mom. So by default, we end up switching and doing whatever we want anyway. For me, the household has to be fluid, whether that's financially, whether that's actions, whether that's the stuff that nobody wants to do. Because as soon as you set an expectation, it's you didn't do that. You didn't do this. And then you're straight into a mess anyway. Yeah.
But I don't know, because I feel that there are times where, like, I'm going to kind of take it to the boardroom. There are times where, like, in businesses, if people don't have clear, defined roles, you can slip through the net, and then everybody's looking at each other like, well, who's supposed to catch that? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So,
but it's a relationship, a business.
Yes, I was going to ask that, because a relationship evolves. And you go through different stages, and you can relate that to product or whatever. Yeah, I agree with that. But a relationship is, in theory, an emotional connection that adds physical connection. And then you have kids that you have to raise and educate as well, because there's also that piece around what are we setting for them too? Yeah. What are they seeing?
Yeah, because every relationship is transactional. We can't get that twisted, yeah? But like you're saying, if this is a love relationship, this is a building relationship, is there binaries? Is it that black and white?
Nah, it's
so
do you see what I'm saying?
I think it is, because, and I think that comes down to...
Sorry.
That's what we love. That's what we want. Joking.
I think the problem is these conversations are tough because it's not a one-size-fits-all. Whenever we try to say one-size-fits-all, everybody, that's usually when the problems don't work. No one wants a T-shirt that's supposed to fit everybody. So, but when I look at it, and I always try to go back on principles, genetically speaking, men and women are wired differently. There are some things that I can do till the cows come home, and I know that a lot of that is down to genetic predisposition, and there are some things that my partner could do to the cows come home that I could never do. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? So for that partnership to best work, I think we need to be in our best roles. Like, there's no point trying to make the cleaner the CEO and the CEO the cleaner. It's not going to work. I know it's a mad legend, but extremes. But that doesn't mean that if I get home and the house is a bit messy, I'm going to say, no, I'm not touching that. Yeah. If I see something out of place, I will fix it. You know what I mean? And to me, that's the hybrid. But I wouldn't expect to come home knowing that I'm the breadwinner, and she's like, now you've sat down, can you go and hoover this, and can you make dinner, and can you do... No, absolutely.
I completely agree with you, 100%.
But then, does that mean you're in a constant state of reviewing? Because obviously, I'm my job in that. But does that mean then that you're constantly picking stuff? Because that to me sounds quite a difficult situation, whether it's the person that has to ask the question and say what's really going on here or whatever, or how do you even set that principle?
So I think I agree, and there are times I think in relationships, and I think especially in modern day, where these conversations do end in arguments. And I think, but you have to be true to yourself, and you have to be able to have these conversations and these discussions, because I think it's difficult because society is a lot more hybrid nowadays, back in the day before my time. Now we'll go out, make the money, come home is what we home. But now, because of many reasons, capitalism, such and such, women are working as well, and women are quite rightly so saying, if I'm doing the same job as you, why am I being paid different?
Yeah, no,
definitely. So you're in an environment quite often where men and women are making the same, and sometimes women are making more than men.
Yeah.
And this is where things change. I still think our genetics still say that as a woman, I want to be cared for, and as a man, I want to do the providing. So for me, I think those principles are kind of set in our genetics. Genetics, like can be like a dial. Some people hone into that a lot more. Some people not as much. And so if I'm looking at myself, at my genetics and my viewpoint, I think it's hard for me to say, right, I'm going to go out and do this and do that and all the other things that I do, then come home and then have to. I'd really like to have some food and
chill.
Try to get chill, and then right, go and take the bin's a man job, but go and do with the floor.
Sometimes we've got to do that ourselves.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and this is the point where I say it is a little bit hybrid. Like I'm never gonna come home and see something like that's a mess and then just say, hey, stop what you're doing, come down here. That's wild, do you know what I mean? But don't get me wrong, if I came home and the house was out of control and I came back the next day it was out of control, I would sit her down and say, hey, like I do what I've got to do.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
P, like, just to go back to your point, right? You're in HR, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's just say somebody comes
It's not
in
that
for a
bad.
job. Somebody comes in, jobs interview does really well. They do really well for the first 2 years, and they start to go downhill. Now in HR, for any workplace, we have yearly reviews to assess the performance of the employee, irrespective of how long they've been there, right? Yeah. And if they're doing great, they're doing fantastic. You know what? Keep doing your thing. You get promoted. You might even get a bonus at the end of the year. Relationships, to some extent, and I know it might sound offensive, babes, but they are contractual. They are contractual because we have the expectations to fulfill certain duties within this relationship that you and I are entering. By that, it's that there are some things that are said and unsaid. For instance, if I'm entering into a relationship, there's an expectation for me to remain faithful to you, right? We don't discuss it, but it's like a given. It's like a given. The moment I step out, and you're like, oh, I can't believe you cheated. Oh, but we never established that I was supposed to be, you know what I mean? We're exclusive. When did we start going out? I mean, we need to set boundaries from the get-go, which is why I think it's important. And as you said, Doc, can I feel you 100%, my guy? That's that we need to establish from the get-go what your expectations of me are and what my expectations of you are.
But
because otherwise... Sorry, don't worry, you'll get your point.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Otherwise, what happens is, if I suddenly decide to be the breadwinner, provider, or even contribute towards a household, and I suddenly decide to become a Buddhist and said, no, do you know what, all of this is nonsense, I'm not going to work anymore. It was like, whoa, dude. It can't work. Because you can't just become a Buddhist and decide you don't want to work anymore because we got things to do. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you are affected. My decisions are now affecting you because you don't expect me to stop doing what I'm doing. Because when we entered into this arrangement, call it a relationship, call it whatever it is.
But there's
a degree of consistency that I need to have. And that's the point I'm trying to make.
Expectations, or is that your own personal moral compass that you're coming into the relationship with, or is that joint expectations of the relationship? Because as a person, you should know that you shouldn't be unfaithful and you shouldn't do certain things in that relationship. So is that relationship expectations you're talking about, or is it you as a person and combining with another person?
Let me, there's plenty of scenarios where people start going out and goes, oh, I didn't know we were going out. You know, there's this weird time when you see...
But why is that set up like that?
But the point is this, if you, and this is why it may sound a bit crazy, but if you're gonna go out with somebody, in a mad way, it's like, I would like you to be my girlfriend, I would like you to be my boyfriend. So you understand, like, okay, this guy is asking me out, and he wants me to be, his girl. And if I say then that means that I'm your man. Yeah. But nowadays, people get into relationships, situations that are potentially could grow into a relationship, but it's this weird period. There's a grey area, and during that grey area, people take advantage of it because, I didn't know we were mutually exclusive. And you hear this time and time again. I hear this on a regular basis.
That's back to the foundation that you're setting up within that dynamic, though. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because are you agreeing that you're going into a situationship or you're going into a friendship to build into a relationship? So I'm not trying to take it biblically, but the Bible doesn't talk about dating. It's friendship or love your person as your neighbour, your spouse, marriage. It's that kind of black and white. So there's no real in-between situationship that kind of is classified as going towards a long-term standing
I
marriage.
completely
Yeah?
agree. Completely
So
agree.
from the get-go, are you both on the same page of saying we're going into something that's not serious, it's light-hearted, that's cool? Or is it usually, what I've seen, one person thinks it's a situationship and one person has got feelings?
And why is that?
Do you get what I'm
Because
saying?
because no one established from the beginning
Yeah, that's
what the situation was going to be.
But
So
I
we need-
thi- but,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah, go
but
on.
I was
No,
gonna
no,
say
you-
but there's some men out there who's got girls who they want wifely duties, yeah, but they're not even giving them the title of girlfriend, and I've seen that happen.
We should have-
you know, it's
yeah.
like because I'm a little bit older, so back in my day, like bringing someone to meet my dad
Mm-hmm.
or go to my house. That's very rare. Like you're not doing that
Yeah.
within not even 6 months. You're not doing that. But I've seen lately now people are meeting people's family like out the gate.
how
And
many you
then-
met?
Yeah, and the introduction says, "Oh, mum, this is
Yeah.
by your name." Do you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I think we change like that, and I think. You know, if we're looking, are we being traditional when it comes to things like 50-50, or are we going with the times? Because
Martina, you touched on a very important point, very interesting
what I'm
point,
saying?
because there are so many external facets that would have an impact on
has made it so difficult
Absolutely.
to kind of be
Can I-
what it was historically.
100%.
Like capitalism is probably one of the biggest reasons why things have gone the way they have. So it's hard to really maintain. If you were like a traditional, I really want to go out, I want to provide for my family, I want my woman to stay at home. I'd even say like 50 years ago, you could have done it and it wouldn't have been that hard.
wouldn't have been a
In this
problem.
day and age, it's virtually impossible to do that. So even if you have that genetic predisposition, you would want to do that. It's
That-
physically really difficult.
That leads on to a question I had. So I was going to ask it to you first, but then I remembered that you've got daughters. So no, because when you think about it, everything you're saying about you got daughters. No,
but it
so
makes a difference.
if you take your stance on what you said about the roles, etc., I understand that, and I think it's a good idea to have an understanding of what roles are at the beginning of anything that you enter into. I agree with that. But it changes. It does evolve. These things change over time. I could lose my job tomorrow. I wouldn't expect her to carry on going full time and me just sitting at home, whatever. But, go on.
But I'm assuming you'd be applying for jobs and she.
Yeah, of course.
Expectation, yeah.
But hold on, that's not expectation. No. But that's us as individuals, right? That's not an expectation. If that's my own pride. I wouldn't be sitting there thinking,
But that's
You're
one of the-
telling me
that's
that
one of the
wifey wouldn't
principles.
expect you to go start looking for
For a
another
job, yeah.
Your wife is probably understands subconsciously that's the principle that you have.
I'll be honest, I think if we ended up in that situation, there would be the thing of, one, I'd go and work in McDonald's or whatever. Right? Do you know what I mean? Because you keep whatever you can. Yeah, you keep what you're doing. So I don't think she'd even have to think about that. I would be trying to do something. But if I had to say to her, because the thing is, when we bought our house, she was higher earning than me by a significant amount. She's the intellect. So we've sort of been in that situation before, and yeah, she would encourage or whatever, but I can never say that she's pressured me to do anything. She's even said to me, like, if you want to dip out of what you're doing, take some years back or whatever, do that. And that's my whole point. When you go on it, go on.
But Pascal, you've got some underlying characteristics that she was willing to contend with until you got to that level. If she knew that you was bumming around playing PlayStation all day, she wouldn't be with her, bro.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, but then
there's a certain degree of expectation by you achieving that, you know, or you ascending in more, you know, in getting more experience at work that would eventually get you the job that you've landed, etc. She saw that from the get-go. But so you never strayed from wanting to better yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. But she expected that, bro. She might not have said it to you.
Yeah, but that's you have to have some sort of if you're going to pick someone, there has to be a betterment there. That's what I think. No.
I
But,
don't know, bro.
but how would you? Okay, spin it to what you're saying. I wouldn't go for a girl that's got flip it around, the PlayStation girl. It wouldn't be a viable option.
Bruv, listen, let me tell you something.
I understand that.
I'll come back to you. Yeah,
I think there's a lot of us who'd say wouldn't do certain things, and then you might get in that situation.
Yeah.
And then boom, you're in it. And it's just like, raw. It's only when you come out of it, it's like, how did I go down that rabbit hole? You see what I'm saying? You can never say that, nah, I wouldn't. Because, brother, I think all of us can say we've had maybe 1 or 2 relationships before. She or he was not.
But my point is, we're not there. We're not. But we're not there now. We're not there now. That's what I'm saying about evolution.
But sometimes, like, situations can bring out changes. So, like, even if we're thinking from a mental health standpoint as well, like, depression does certain things.
Okay.
I've seen people be very hardworking, lose their job, get those redundancies, then they're doing the PlayStation all day, and there's no motivation. So, what you might have signed up for originally in that relationship, that's now changed because of an external circumstance.
Yeah.
You get me?
Do you want to finish this off and then have a question? And then I want to do scenarios of these.
In
When-
this episode, you know I'm talk all day, man. Yeah. Hey, listen.
No, so if we bring it right back, you guys talked about roles. Guys should have a role, women should have a role, etc. So is that what you're going to pass down to your kids?
I'll let you answer this one first.
Okay, cool. So, it's a very good question. Very good, poignant question. So there's certain things that I'll be expected to do, but wouldn't mind my wife participating in it. Give an example: teaching my kids how to ride a bike. Yeah, my dad taught me how to ride a bike.
No, sorry. When I say this, what I mean is what you said about like men and women roles. With your daughters, would you expect them to have that woman role that you've
to a
referenced?
to a very large extent, I want my daughters to be feminine women.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what I make them do when I come home from work. When I come home from work, I've got 3, as you know. One of them takes off my coat. One of them takes my bag down, and they greet me and they say, "Hello, Daddy, how was work?" I expect that because I've been getting up from 5 o'clock in the morning, patterning, traveling through the depths and breadth of London to make sure that you guys are good. And I want them to, what's the word I'm trying to use? I want them to appreciate what a good providing father does for them. Because it's not something that, just because they have it, doesn't mean that it's something that everyone has. So it's an understanding that, a good man needs to be respected, especially amongst his family, and needs to be appreciated. So I expect them to do that for their man when they meet their man. I expect them to understand the value of cooking, the value of cleaning, the value of good listening, and of conversating with your husband, and not always nagging your husband and things like that. These are things I teach my daughters. And if they don't achieve that, I would feel like I failed, because I'm trying to essentially create an environment where I can essentially have young women that can blossom into becoming wonderful women, potential really good spouses.
But then that's the spousal side, but does that not become subservient? Because you're the father, and that's your relationship with your daughter.
Not at all.
But if that's something that is fed down from a young age, when they meet a man, you won't know who that man is in the first instance. What if that's a situation that they take advantage of?
And how is it teaching reciprocation in a relationship as well, both sides?
Not at all. I mean, look, at the end of the day, my daughters can come and ask me whatever they want because they know that I've given to them out of love and out of duty because I'm their father. So they're not lacking anything. Yeah, because they appreciate what their father does. But it's not a situation of subservience, not at all.
No. I'm not saying to you that's a father and daughter relationship, but the next man.
No, not at all. Not at all. Because my wife is just as accommodating because she respects what men do, and I only earn that respect from her because I do what I'm supposed to do. If I was bumming around, trust me, she wouldn't even give a monkeys about me in that way whatsoever. But she knows I go out there and do what I'm supposed to do. She's grateful for it. She's thankful for it, and that's just a way of showing me appreciation. Yeah, and it's reciprocated when she's away.
That's what I want to say.
Okay,
how is that
let me
explicit?
give you an example. If she's out there working really late at night, she's expecting me to cook dinner for her, to have everything sorted, to run a bath. Once she goes to the gym, her bath is nicely and run. So once she comes home from the gym, "Oh, babes, thank you, because I knew you were out there sweating, making yourself look good, and I respect the hustle."
Respect
That is the reciprocity. Yeah?
like that, but how is that being so explicit to your daughters? How is that being filtered down to them?
By observation. Kids learn from observation. You don't always have.
Something, but
Yeah.
they see,
it's what they see.
Yeah.
So when when you ever get to a chance to meet my children, I'll bring them here one day. You'll see they're loving children.
Yeah.
They're very happy because that's what me and them I'm working hard to do. It's not easy. It's getting involved in any form of relationship in the long term is the most difficult thing you'll ever do because you have to learn to get to know yourself as you grow older. Because my 20-year-old self ain't my 40-year-old self.
Yeah.
She's not the same when she was 20. She's going through her things. I'm going through my things.
Yeah.
It's bloody hard. But at the end of the day, we love each other and out of duty as well because I chose her. Right, that's this. You are my wife. I want you to cleave onto me, and I need to do the best I can to ensure that we are living in an environment that is productive for the both of us. So all the examples that we talked about this afternoon, I've experienced them all. There's been times where she's had more money than me, and she patted me. There's been times now I'm make more money than her, and I'm patting her. And it'll always be that way. And there were times where we literally say, "Yo, boy, listen, you're earning this much, earning that much. We're just gonna have to go halves on this."
Yeah.
And she was cool. It's quite
Rescued
fluid.
that well.
Yeah.
Thanks if you know.
Kilo, do you know, and then Kilo and then Wayne, and I've got some scenarios for those two. Yeah. Okay.
So two things very quickly. So I've got a daughter. She's older now, but I've got like a bag of boys. So it's kind of like the flip to what you were saying is exactly that. So again, by observation, I really try hard to show my boys what that is and what it looks like. So it's things like getting up early, getting to work. They come home, they see me working. I talk to them also about their future selves, about understanding things, understanding the world, understanding the way it works. And I show them examples. The best things you can do is show kids things, and they will look with their natural inquisitive minds and say, "But how is?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, do you see what I mean?" So and like even down to things like some people might see this as a bit extreme, but like working with my kids studying, sometimes they get a bit upset, they get a bit emotional. And with the boys, I'll let them cry out or whatever, and afterwards I'll say to them, "See that book? That book don't care how you feel, if you're crying, if you're sad, and I'm sorry to say this to you, as a man, that's exactly the way the world is as well. The majority of it doesn't really care. So you can't live by your emotions, you have to live by what you need to do." And I was explaining to them, there are times when I get up in the morning, I might not want to, but I don't do what I want, I do what I need to do.
But are you still validating the emotions and making sure that there's space for those emotions? Because remember, children need to be able to feel that, because in terms of things like nuances and kind of like how the brain develops and stuff like that, children need things to be explicit. So observation is fantastic, but there's something about, like you saying, the reality of the world and how it will view you. You need to know that, but you also need to, I think, make sure that you validate that there's space for that emotion. And if you feel you ever need to share that emotion or release that emotion, that is cool too. That doesn't take away from your strength, and it doesn't mean that there's no space to sit with what you're feeling.
I think that's an excellent point, and I didn't allude to it, but that's exactly what I do. So whenever emotions do come out, I always say to them, just express them, talk them through. So there's always that process of acknowledgement and expressing and understanding. And I share like for like. I told them, son, sometimes I wake up in the morning, my alarm clock goes off, I'm like, I don't want to go to work,
Yeah.
So it's not that those feelings aren't shared, but we have responsibilities. And that's when I'll go on to layer it and say boom, 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 boom.
I just want to second Wayne's point, and it was going back to what you were saying about the fixed roles as a parent of boy children. And I know you're going to back me on this one. It's not about producing whatless people and whatless children. Nah, seriously, because I remember from year 5, I was ironing shirt with starch. Yeah. Standard. Young. Cook. No. Making sure when I come home from school and no one was there, fix yourself up a plate to eat. So it was amazing when I'm meeting women and they're seeing that I could cook, iron, clean, use a washing machine. It's kind of like it's thrown them, and I'm thinking, well, what am I not supposed to do? Because what I'm saying is I don't want it to be a thing where my boys, and I say that my boys, are putting themselves in situations where people can take advantage of them because they haven't been upskilled with the things that they need to do, as Wayne said, to strive and survive in life. That said, I think roles are flexible. I think they're interchangeable, and I'll give you an example. So the other day, my eldest wanted to play with a particular toy, and I went on it for particular reasons. And then his mum said to me, are you cool with him having a kitchen set? And I said, yeah, because there's not just female chefs, there's male chefs as well. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think we have to be careful when we're banding out, oh, this person should do that and that, because as we're seeing, this world is changing.
That's my point. I think, like, with my boys, I've always said, because my mum, the one thing she did do was make me self-sufficient.
Yes.
And that's what I've always said. The one thing I've always had in life is I've never had to rely on anyone. Forget about woman or man. Anyone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go on.
And I just wanted to finish exactly what you were saying on, and that's the thing, is the key is, although I will look at my boys and my daughter and try to say to them, these are the essential skills, it would be foolish in this world to think, like, you never put all your cards into one hand. So I would want you to also, even my daughter, I want you to also be academic, to study. Those are skills that you have. This is the world we live in. But also understand that maybe your career isn't what's going to find you love and happiness. So I want you to understand that. And the same thing for the boys. Exactly what you said. You know, they already know how to cook certain dishes, and I've got them cleaning, they do chores, you know, they understand that, you know.
And a lot of kids don't do that nowadays.
A lot of them don't
Just
do it.
whatless. Yeah. Has anyone else got any points on that before? Because
I
we.
wanted to ask you a question based
Yeah.
on what the man just said.
Yeah.
So let's just say, because you know, you're a bachelor.
Yeah. Yeah. Go on. Yeah. Go on. Go on. Go on. Yeah. Yeah. Go on. Go on.
You've
Yeah.
got your own abode.
Yeah.
And you cook, you clean, you do
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just say it's from a scenario where you can do all of that on your own.
Yeah.
Very well, because you've done it for years.
Mm-hmm.
And a woman comes in and says, oh, you know, you can cook all the great meals.
Yeah.
Pies, jollof rice, jerk chicken, you're a fantastic chef.
Yeah.
Do you relinquish this element of your skill set when a woman comes in? That's equally capable of doing
No. We share it, or I continue to do what I do because that makes me happy and it's served me well. So why should I? At the end of the day, it's got to serve me. End of the day, you got to be a bit selfish certain times. So something
Self-caring, not
self-care. Yeah, self-caring. You got to do what's right for you, kind of thing, and never lose that bit, man. Because loads of people I know get into relationships and they just lose themselves. Like stop going gym, stop taking care of themselves because they've got this buff woman, but they just lose themselves, and then next minute they're not what they used to be, and then that relationship just severs basically. So on that, I've got two more scenarios for you two. So, okay, so Martina, so say.
Let's do this.
So say if I had like 2 kids and stuff like that, and then I asked you to move in and stuff like that, and I wasn't earning as much as you're earning more than me, but it was like, say, it was a rented house or something like that. How would you approach that situation? I've got 2 kids, they come to stay with me every other week. How would you be in that situation? What would you expect? Would you expect to kind of go 50-50 on that, or would you say you sort how like the rent out and then you do the bills? How would you do that? What is a 50-50 on that situation for you?
It's not 50-50 for me personally, because it's obvious that there's that imbalance that's there. And if I've
What do you mean imbalance? Balance? What do you mean? What's the imbalance?
Financial imbalance.
I was going to say,
Okay.
See how you lot all jump? That's really interesting. What is going on in the mind here?
I've got another scenario. I've got a scenario for you. Yeah.
I know, everybody was like, what? I was going to say there's an imbalance because financially the household will need a bit more from me. So I'm not expecting a 50-50. And I have to be honest with myself that if I've picked a man who has children, the children are part of him too.
Yeah.
It's a package deal. So if I have to kind of like hold the fort now, I have to do that. But it's not going to be a full thing for a full time.
For now part.
Is that 6
it's
months?
for now. It's not 6 months. It's not 6 months, but it's everything in life is temporary anyway. But it's like, this is a temporary situation. I've got you for now. I've got the household. Your children are an extension of you. If I'm choosing to love you, I love them too. I'm not gonna just like, skimp on the bills and stuff and we're all sitting in darkness and no heat because we need to go 50-50. That's not gonna happen.
Can I ask you a question quick? Because you mentioned it. So how does the conversation go?
In terms of
What, as in,
now
I ask her.
For now.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
yeah, this
So
is
then when
temporary.
that now part expires,
How long is temporary? Yeah.
Yeah.
How long is the
I can't
contract?
put No, we need to look at plans. So it's like, are you applying for jobs? Are you looking at like?
No,
what
I've got a job, but it's not.
She set up the Reed account.
Well, you need to change it. Like, we're being realistic. If you've got children, you need to do what you need to do. So if you
But it
need
makes
to
me happy,
supplement
though.
that income, then supplement.
I take it all back, Mike.
You need to supplement it because there's children involved. So,
Yeah.
like, do what you want to do, but you'll need a side hustle. If there's not enough money in the household, you need to kind of bring it up because you can't expect me to be solely responsible for the household.
Yeah. Okay.
Money off a making it.
And it's not a looking down
Yeah,
or
no,
anything
100%.
like that, but it's a reality that if you choose to make little humans
Yeah.
that are growing and changing every day, you need to make sure that you've got emergency money and we're not just hitting the bills every month. You need to have
Yeah.
that surplus because you don't know what's going to happen with children. And they grow so quickly.
All right, there's one for you, Mr. Blake. So imagine you meet this really nice girl. She's buff, she's kind. Shade getting through.
It's about time.
Shade, but anyway.
Okay, so you two been going out now. She's got 4 kids. And she asked you to move in. Again, and let's just say, for argument's sake, it's a rented place. You move into a rented place. She lives there with 4 kids. What are you contributing? What, in your eyes, are you contributing? She's got 4 kids. She's got lower pay job than you. She asked you to move in. What are you...
red flag.
Why?
You love her, like you love her.
Have I got pick me as well at this point?
You got Pickney, yeah, you got Pickney.
How many combined?
So,
Football team.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, it would be 6.
Yeah, 6 kids.
By 2 and 4s.
Yeah. It's got a big house though. It's big. It's got a big garden, bruv.
Who's paying for
What is the garden even going to do?
The kids can garden, you know.
So they can make more kids.
What in your eyes is a 50-50? How would you see that scenario going down?
I don't think there's a 50-50 in that. Honestly.
Would you stay where you are? Or would you move in? Or what would you do?
Do you know what? On a big man thing,
Yeah.
I'd have to think about my 2 little boys and how it impacts them.
Yeah.
In terms of where does she live? How long can I get to my boys in a certain time?
Yeah.
Are they going to feel comfortable in that environment?
She lives in a nice gated community.
Knowledge.
No, but it's not even just that.
Brixton.
I've got to think about her 4 other children.
Yeah.
Are my 2 little ones going to be able to gel with these children, or are they going to feel that daddy's attention is all with them kids?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Must be a big thing on that.
It's a factor. And why?
4, but she's buff, bruv.
Yeah, but
Doesn't mean anything.
but looks fade, brother.
I know.
It's about the heart, man.
Yeah, no.
Touching a good point because there's a lot of blended families.
Families,
about
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And what happens when it's the oldest child, your partner's oldest child's birthday, 21st birthday, and she's like, "Oh, babes, I really want to do a big party for my daughter. Sorry, for my daughter or for my son."
Yeah.
And then you just been dating a woman for 3-4 years. You can't start backing out and say, "Well, that ain't my kid," or do you know what I'm saying? It becomes it's quite techie, personally.
Okay, so
But you
scenario
wouldn't be expecting me to make some.
So scenario to everyone now. Say if you meet someone and you both got a house, right? What happens if you want to move forward and
Somebody I keep the yard.
The house.
yeah?
Keep the house.
I didn't.
So this is.
No, you.
Yes, get on.
So this is interesting because it kind of brings to my mind why, if you're looking at a relationship and saying this is where I'm going, are you going to keep something here, and then she keeps something there? That's not. coming together, really.
Still empire though.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
But then-
Empire isn't just one house. It's like you're building for the future.
But it-
So why can't you have your own space if you need it and something that's there as an asset wherever in the future, like if you have more children or whatever.
Who's paying free mortgages?
But if you're in a position to, why would you
How would-
give that up?
This is my point, because I still feel like everything you say is me, but then you say we, but it doesn't become a we until you say, let's bring this together.
Together.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're keeping it, and they're keeping it. You're not really building anything.
But I was a person before I met you. And when I leave this earth, I'm going to leave on my own. Like, so respectfully, everything that I've worked for and I've got,
That don't sound.
why should I get rid of that just because I've met somebody that I love? We're going to keep
So
that.
what would you do then? So how would you deal with that situation then yourself?
I'd keep the house.
So you move into his?
I'd move. I'd probably, if it was bigger, I'd move into his. I'd go where it makes more sense.
Banked.
But I'd still keep the house and I'd rent out mine.
Yeah.
Because that's still income and that's contributing to our relationship and our future.
So, okay, so what happens to the dividends from that house then?
50-50.
Are you saying here's 50 for you and I can
50-50, or is that all yours?
Well,
all yours?
it will go to my children.
So, see, that's what I'm saying. So,
That's what I look at it.
That's a good point. Yeah.
but see, that's just I'm just being very black and white.
Yeah.
It's very much so saying this is it kind of gives the vibes of, and this is me being black and white here, that I'm going to keep this just in case shit happens thing here,
Yeah.
and you're keeping that just in case shit
Escape
happens.
fund money.
You have
Yeah. Basically.
But then it goes, so why sign a prenup then?
I was going to ask you, that's the next question. Would you sign a prenup? Would you do a prenup?
So let me quickly answer this thing.
Yeah.
So when I met my missus, she was living in one place, I was living in one place. My place was bought, her place was rented. She came in leaving my place. She felt some type of way because, you know, she wasn't sure whether, you know, even though we were very knee deep in a relationship, she had some concerns, some womanly concerns. Because until you put a ring on man, on girl rather, or whatever, she wasn't sure which, you know, anything could really happen.
Yeah.
But my intention was always to pursue this to the very end. So, but I still realized that she was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So what we did was say, okay, cool, we're gonna get married anyway. So let me get rid of my flat, which I bought by myself. Worked 3 jobs to get this flat.
Yeah.
It was it was very difficult for me to. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Sorry, guys, I got a cold. It was very difficult for me to make that decision at the time. And then I realized that, look, if I'm going to be with this woman, I'm going to be all in, innit?
Yeah.
I might as well be all in. So if I'm going to get rid of my 1-bedroom flat that had a nice little on-car park gated, it was banging.
Yeah, it was nice. A nice little flat store.
I sold it so that we can be together. So if there's no more, so that I'm sure he knew, I'm all in now.
Yeah.
Because me and you are all in. I sold my
That's
drum
big.
so we can buy a drum together. So we can.
Different though, because she was renting. But if she had a house that she'd bought and it was bigger than yours, would you move in with her?
Knowing that I've got my place,
Probably not.
we need to buy a place together. We need to
Yeah.
together because that's the pride of me. Like I don't beg people nothing. I like to do things for myself. If I'm not capable of doing it right now,
Yeah.
I'll blatantly tell you I can't do it until I'm ready.
I think with me with 50-50, I think if you're both just moving into a house together, definitely 50-50. And I think the 50-50 changes when you get married, in my point of view, because you're not really, if you're kind of like just both living together in a relationship, shit can happen, you know, tomorrow and stuff like that. And if you're paying all the bills and stuff like that, and she's not paying much, then she goes off. She's got her little money. She's been banking every month. You've got to be smart. That's what I'm saying. 50-50.
Come in and again.
What's that?
Does marriage change that though? Sorry to cut you. You said married, but
Marriage with kids, like obviously you're planning to have kids and stuff like that. I think it does. I think you give a bit more with marriage because you're actually devoting yourself to someone, kind of thing. So I think for me personally, my own personal opinion, I think that's when it will change. But until I get married, until I choose to put a ring on someone's finger, then it'll always be 50-50 for me, I think, based on kind of, you just got to look after yourself.
Sorry, can I just ask a personal question? If you don't mind? Do you and your wife have a joint account?
Hell no.
Do you know what? I was just about to jump in. I was literally, because that's what me and my wife have. The day we got married,
Okay, so
No,
hold on. I wanna. Why do you not have? I wanna know from both of you why yes and why no. So why no?
it's a very good question. It's kind of weird because we share same bed, same life, same. But when it comes to my money, I like to be in control of my money, and I tell you why. Because there's certain things that men are capable of doing that women find it very difficult to do. I'll give you an example.
Please elaborate on that.
Sometimes, no, I'll give you an example. So, I'm into crypto, innit? So if I'm putting 300-400
Can't
pounds
put
or
her money
something
in
you
dog
don't
shit.
understand, or some other stuff, my wife will be, why have you put 400 pounds in this thing? I don't understand it. It makes no sense. But it's the risk that men have got risk tolerance that women don't have. But I can tell you what though, whatever I do, none of the household gets affected by it. Everything is paid regularly, or even sometimes ahead of time. So, but I like to be in control of my finances, but at the very same time, there is a household pot
Yeah,
that
so
things
that's-
get paid into.
So yeah.
So we don't have a joint account.
Yeah.
But what I do is I send her a bag of money every month.
And that was
That
mortgage
covers
cover.
everything. Everything comes out of
Okay,
it. That trust me, it's been
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
nice.
yeah, it's patterns, yeah, yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
I see boohoo.com over there. I want this. But the point I'm trying to make, Kilo, is that I don't have a joint account because of reasons I've just explained. There's certain things I want to do for my family. By the way, they're not for me. But I know that my wife may be slightly more concerned or her risk tolerance might be as high as me. Hence why I'd like to say, look, what do we need to cover everything? Here's your part. That next part is mine. And that's why I continue to have my pocket money.
No, I appreciate the honesty. So, P, how come you and your missus do have a joint account?
We, when we started out, we were renting like one room together. And obviously we are where we are now. And that, I think, is because of the joint account. Because we put the money into there and we literally just slice it. And it caused arguments. So like the first couple of years, it'd be like, I was getting like £30 haircuts. She was like, why are you doing it? So in the end, it's going to sound ridiculous, but we actually just made like a pocket money system and it is equal. We both get exactly the same amount every month, but it was all for a purpose. So we have a nice house. We have a nice situation going on. Now I've said to her, okay, now we can start separating our money. Now we can start doing that because we've built the empire behind us now. Everything is secure. Whereas now, so like I said to her, the next pay rise I get, I'm taking an extra 20% for myself now. And I've started my own, I've got a pension scheme, but I've started my own individual one. She was like, what are you doing? I was like, that's for me. Because the kids are sorted now. Everything is fine. Everything is where I wanted it to be. Now we can enjoy it. Yeah.
No, thank you for sharing that, Carl. I feel that's an insight you don't really.
That links into, sorry to cut you, the thing that I was saying at the beginning when I was talking about bringing
Building
people
together,
because
yeah.
those when you the nature that you could bring it together allowed you guys to have more resources which you can plumb.
Yeah, to do whatever you need to.
Separate. I almost feel like you're both playing tug of war.
Well, so who's going to give a bit more? Yeah.
But we had a shared vision. We wanted the nice house. That's what we wanted, and we wanted that space for the kids and that, and that's why we did it. And now it's like,
One thing I want to touch on,
we have to close,
but I'll be
yeah.
very, very quick. See how you brought the Bible before, yeah? Yeah. Now, I read the Bible as well sometimes, not as often as I should, but very good question. The book of Revelation. Yeah. But
Psalms.
the Bible, according to biblical scripture, Adam was created in the image of God. And then God realized that Adam was lonely and he made for her, the Bible says this, a helper. Yeah. So this is the definition. Go and read a bit. Go and read the book of Genesis. Helper. A helpmate. A helpmate. Helpmate second. I didn't write it down. Moses did, right? So by biblical definition, if a man has a vision to fulfill, the woman is there to help and assist the man in delivering his vision. So to some degree, if that 50-50 doesn't really work in as far as the Bible's concerned, it's all about, look, if Adam's going straight, Eve, you better follow Adam. Because if you're not following him, your role is redundant. That's not what I made you for, right? I made you to help him. So it touches on what we talked about earlier, about, Western society and systems, societal systems have changed, where there's a bit of a disruption going on. But really and truly, what I mean by that is that I know some households of the Christian faith where the women disclose full finances to their husbands, and their husbands say, okay, all right, this is what you got, fine, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take this from what you brought, and we're going to, because if a husband loves his wife like Christ loved the church, he'll do right by you.
Yeah.
So you go in with full faith and knowing that your husband's going to do right. I don't know how you feel about that, but hey, listen, this is what the Bible says, okay? But that's not 50-50. That's full control. The man controls 100%.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, no. Anything that feels controlled or restricted, that's not working together.
It's not control, though. It's not control.
It is.
It's not.
It is.
It's not control.
It is, especially when
no,
you're
hear me out,
expecting
though.
the woman to hold and carry the babies for 9 months and do all of that.
but
50-50
Martina,
goes out the window.
Hear me out. If the man loves you, as the Bible says, as Christ loves the church, he's willing to die for you and your children and for everything that you care about. He's putting his life on the line for you. Okay?
How is he showing me that?
So his vision is shared not for his personal gain, but for the gain of you, the kids, the family. So by you saying, here's what I'm giving you the resources, he's saying, okay, I'll take that. And my plan is that you do better, the kids do better, we do better.
That just doesn't feel joint. It just doesn't feel empowering to me. It doesn't feel like you're empowering your partner when you're talking like that. It feels like you're talking down to me,
No.
putting me in this space of,
No.
okay, let me do this so that you can be better. That's really great. Well done. We're
It's
going to
not-
have such a big vision.
It's-
I want you to be in terms of my partner. Like, obviously, equality is a big subject for another day. But you are,
That's big topic.
but partnership is you are the other half of me.
Partnership.
How are you modelling that if you're telling me,
But what if there is no
All right,
partnership?
last point, please, because yeah.
I just
Go
want
on.
to say one quick thing. Because it's
man loves to vex me, innit?
I'm not trying to vex you.
He said something earlier, and he said subservient, and I felt tension in the room. And you know, I feel like, and this is probably going to be controversial to say, that the term servient has got such negative connotations, and it's been seen so negatively that everybody kind of shuns away. Like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, that's not for me. I want to lead. Not everybody's built to be a leader.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with serving someone's cause when you know that you also profit, and so does everybody around you from that cause.
Yeah.
And I think that term, when people say servient, people get very defensive. Like, I'm not going to serve no one or be under anybody. I feel it's bad, and it can almost shut your blinders off to actual opportunities where you can grow.
Yeah.
And put it this way, I'll be really quick. Like,
Yeah, sure.
the right man will make a woman submit in terms of
That is-
feeling safe.
that's true.
If she doesn't have to be in her masculine, you know, she will submit.
Mm.
And there will be probably an element of subservience, but it'll be in the sense that she feels held, she feels nourished, the environment is safe.
That's what I was literally.
No, you
trying
did
to
not say that. You did not say it. You said control.
Okay.
No, it's not about control.
Okay,
It
guys.
wasn't about control. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Talk to your friend.
No.
Yeah, we talk on camera.
Martina,
camera.
it's
I'll wait till
exactly
you
what
tell
I
me.
was trying to say. Like, exactly that. Because if I love you with all my heart, to the point I'm going to lose my life, I'll be very quick, T.
Yeah.
There was nothing that you would give me that I would waste, or I would want to, you know, to mismanage. If I was to say to you, sweetheart, there's a thing that I can do, we can generate £1 million, but I need you to bring me 10 bags. And you were like, oh, trust me, give me 10 bags. I want to turn that
Different
into
to what you just said.
No,
That
no,
feels-
no.
This feels collaborative. What
No,
you're
no,
saying
it's
to
not
me now.
collaborative. It's not because I'm the one. Because I'm the one that came up. I'm the one that got the idea.
Hold me back.
I'm the one that got
Pause.
the idea. No,
Okay.
hold on.
Don't embarrass
I've got
me.
I've got the idea. I've got the vision, and I know I can get this done. But I just need you to bring me your little something.
You have that vision, but it should be our vision.
But it can't be your vision because it's my vision.
But we're in a partnership together.
No, your partnership is
Yeah,
your belief in
guys,
me to
we
deliver.
have the thing because yeah. Okay, just to
Talk
close.
later.
Yeah, just to close this.
Comment below, people.
So now just to
Comment
summarise.
section what you
Yeah.
guys think, man. Because obviously you see that today's been a really, really cool conversation.
Very good conversation on 50-50 on our different perspective on it. So please be sure to subscribe, to
Like,
like,
follow us on
follow us, YouTube.
We're on podcasts,
Podcast.
all of the the one Spotify. You guys always remind me of this. I should
Yeah.
download it.
right up on the
Yeah, I
news
know,
somewhere,
but there'll be something that goes on there.
Yeah, we need this.
You know what? Big up to our special guest today.
Yeah, thank you. And put the fire with her.
If you want to see Martina again on the show, put yay or nay in the comments and we'll respond accordingly.
I won't be getting a Christmas card from you. Then.
Peace. I like that. Was. Thank you.